Today, we are going to be talking to, of course, the lady on my left. We haven't seen her for quite a while. We've never forgotten about her. Her name is Fiona Xie. And from what I understand, and this is what her agents have been telling me, she will answer any question that you have.
And you're my agent, right?
Yeah. Okay, well, you can ask any question that you want. Of course, if Fiona is unable to answer the question, then we will do this. You know what this is, right? This is called Tai Chi. You Tai Chi the question away. All right. So I don't think any of you really need a microphone because it's such a small setting. In fact, I really don't even need a microphone. So if you do have any questions, you just put up your hands. We'll direct it to you, and then you can just ask the questions. I'm sure she can hear you. Okay? If she can't hear your questions, I will just make it up.
So do I need to use a microphone?
You have to use the microphone.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So they want to hear you. Okay?
Whoops. So they need the mic for you.
Okay. I need to use the mic. Yeah, I don't want to use the mic, so to make me use the mic. Oh, no. Okay. All right. So what else do I have to say? No, that's basically about it. Oh, and can we just do this? It'll make them very, very happy. Can we have a big round of applause for Style by Style Vibes Cafe for hosting us?
Yay! Where's her now? Where's her now?
Okay, so we're going to have you guys answer a few questions in just a little bit, but I know there are some questions that we have to ask. Fiona, now that you're back, how do you feel about being back here in Singapore?
You just made me very nervous in the room, so I'll try to warm up.
You cannot say I made you nervous in the room. They don't know the context, and it sounds very sleazy.
No, we were doing this live chat thing on our Facebook. So, yes.
Okay, you can check it out on Channel 5.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you feel about being back in Singapore?
I've never actually planned this. Like I said, it was rather organic. So, yeah, it's almost like a homecoming because I've been away for so long. I've, been to where? You're going to ask me where. I've been to Hong Kong after I left. I lived in New York. I lived in Shanghai, most recently Tokyo, and then I just came back. So, bit of a homecoming. And then, I've always liked traveling. I always liked being away. But then it's something about feeling nostalgic for home. After being away for so long, you'd be like, hey, where's home? And I do want to, feel home again. And this is where my home is, I guess.
You're going to stick around for National Day?
Of course!
Yeah. Okay, so I guess a lot of people...
This is home, truly. I still remember the song.
Keep going.
I sing on the Dilla. And I was a bit, burnt out that I just wanted to leave, and I just wanted to, I started since I was 19 that I was a teenager. I never really got to live life. I was living multiple lives through many, many scripts, through many, many dramas, through many, many characters who people loved and hated. But at the same time, I never had time for me. So I think, for me, I took time to go away to do what I wanted to do all these art projects, and then meet all these amazing, phenomenal, artists, architects, or whoever, and they're like, yo, you should really go back and embrace your craft, because I'll be like, wow, I want to be a painter, I want to be like this crazy artist, wow, like Murakami or like Kaws or something, I want to be one of you, be like, yeah, but they in turn get really fascinated, and they're like, no, you are the muse, you are the muse, and that's why we make the art. It's like people like you that, that make it, and I'm like, wow, I feel really nostalgic, and some quite prominent people in the art world that I talk to actually psychoed me to be like, you should really try doing a project again. And then I was like, hey, yeah, it's a craft. This is my craft that I haven't really, it's not the end of the road, I'm still really young, and this is something that I hope to perhaps do till I'm silver, you know what I mean? So yeah, and that's how it's sort of started ball rolling. And of course, the stars are always aligned, and they've always been calling me for a lot of projects and all that, but nothing really sort of came to fruition because I was always busy or something like that. And then Kenneth Liang, who was my first producer, who brought me onto the project of War Diary, gave me a call, and he was like, Fiona, it's time. I was like, what? I tried to not answer my call. Click. And we like, I'm away. The subscriber you call is no longer in service. I tried to do that, but then, I felt, no, I cannot do this to Kenneth. I have to pick up his call. And he was like, hey, we have a role called Left Behind for Channel 5. Would you like to consider it? You know, I was like, I don't really want to. I'm so scared. To be honest, I'm so scared to even try again. And this is one of the things that me and Sharon actually talked about. Sharon and I, we were like, yeah, you know, because both of us are probably artists that have sort of left. And we were like, yeah, we left on that high, and it's so scary to walk back. You know, to like say, hey, you know, are you sure? I just want to leave on that good memory, you know what I mean? And like, we don't ever want to do that. So when Ken called, I was like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. And then he hit me with a sob story bomb that shattered my heart.
What was the what was the bomb?
No, I mean, obviously he told me the synopsis. It was like, oh, this is a role of a psychiatrist, and, you know, some of the cases, it was just a synopsis. Some of the cases, you know, in short description. And I was like, oh no, you know, and I'm quite a emotional and feeling person who goes a lot by my feelings. So I was very touched at that point. And also he showed me a short clip of another project that he was doing that showcased Singaporeans that were struggling with a lot of things, but had no voice. So this show sort of gave them a voice to voice out what they wanted to say. When I watched that clip of this young boy, he was dealing with a lot of rejection and all that, I started to tear, and I was like, this really went down. I sent him a picture of my eye with tears in it, and I was like, this is so sad. You know, I was like, I feel so sad that, you know, people in Singapore cannot embrace fully like all these people who have problems, you know, who treat it as or as taboo or something that you don't want to talk about or as frowned upon and stuff like that, instead of really reaching out and helping them or giving them the love or that empathy that they deserve. So I was like, no, I have to do something, you know, and I was like quite emotional about it. I was telling Kenneth, I was like, no, you know, like, this is why I want to stay away, because I don't want people to, you know, they don't understand me, and I don't want them to misunderstand me, and this is exactly how I feel, you know, and all that is different. It's difficult to be different. It's like, no, you come back and don't run away anymore. Just come back, do this because the people need your voice. So I was like, oh, like, this rings true, and it struck a chord in my heart, and I'm like, okay, I signed the deal without reading the script. I did, I really did. So we're filming now, and it's been so fun, yeah. And also, I mean, the first reason was the people in the art scene wanting my craft. The second was Kenneth, and also a bit of loyalty. So I feel like it's coming full circle of someone who gave me my first opportunity, and then now it's like, okay, it's almost like, you know, gratitude. It's like, hey, you know, a bit of loyalty for me. I'm old school like that.
Okay, so just one more question before we open it out to the floor. What is your deal? I mean, are you full-time with Mediacorp? Are you on a project basis? What's going on?
Deal or no deal? Like I said, everything happened quite quickly. So I literally didn't sign the contract, started filming, and I'm still halfway in it. I just ran and came here from filming, so everything is still in the works. And I'm the kind of person that just wants to concentrate whatever that I'm doing at that moment. So now we're just busy filming. Everything else can come later. So we'll deal with that later. And no, I don't belong anywhere. I'm a citizen of the world, and
that is a
freedom.
That's a prime example of Tai Chiing the question and the answer. All right, so we're going to open up to the floor. Just put up your hand if you have a question. Anyone? Question? All right.
Yeah, actually that was one of the reasons why I came back. Apart from being away and, you know, being away from family and all that kind of stuff, you know, you think that, the last time I was actually back for an extended period of time was when my grandma was really ill and she had cancer and all that, and I was taking care of her, and it was quite a trying time because I literally was at the bedside. She had lung cancer, so I was at the bedside, you know, she couldn't really lie down and all that, and it was quite a traumatic time. So much to a point where I know everyone wants to ask about my love life. I've always been the one who lived for love, and I still do. And I was engaged back then. Yes. And yeah, I think I couldn't go ahead with it because I was so broken about everything, about so many things in my family and my grandma's passing and all that. Yeah, so coming back this time, unfortunately, was also someone in my family that is ill, and I, well, it's obviously quite. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's a bit sad for me, but at the same time, it's a very heartwarming and nice experience because I come back and everyone's spending time together, and I think it gave me a lot more meaning to do this show because obviously I was a psychiatrist and I was dishing out all these advice to day in and out to all my patients in the show. And it was actually daily reminders for myself to be strong or to go on and, to really live life. And yeah, I was so afraid of coming back. I was so afraid of doing this again. But I think my cousin gave me the courage to say that, hey, if you have every breath to live, what's there? Just live it, and whatever comes, comes. So I think I dedicate the show to him. I dedicate everything because I'm sorry.
So let's just take a minute.
Yeah, I'm okay. sorry. Yeah, because I think that there are a lot of And that's also why a lot of times there are a lot of things that I don't tell the media or I don't talk to you about is because sometimes it's not about me being elusive or being evasive, but there are a lot of people that I want to protect, like the people I date or the people in my family. Like, I would love to tell you upfront, this and this and this and this is happening or blah, 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 but often I have to protect the people I love and therefore sometimes I have to make sacrifices, like a lot of times like the people that I've dated, for 7 years, I never came out to one interview. Or, a lot of people, oh, you should have kept your profile, do more magazine shoots. But magazine shoots equals questions, equals I don't want to answer, equals I want to protect my people, and therefore I don't. So I apologize, but please know that it came from a place of protection over people that I loved. And right now, all I can say is that, yeah, I think that I just love my family so much, and I'm so proud of my cousin for being so strong to go through this, because if he can do it, and him being a very young individual at 23 of age, I think that there is nothing that we can't do. So I think everyone should, stop all the hate. Look at this Orlando thing about people killing for hate, for the wrong reasons. I think all of us should just put aside all these negativity, put aside all these trolling, put aside all this stuff to really focus on, coming National Day, focus on love, focus on being united, focus on spreading positivity, I guess, yeah.
Now, we could just lighten the mood for a little bit. Earlier on during the Facebook Live session, Fiona actually said she's been getting a lot of weird, like really weird proposals, okay, on her Instagram, on her Twitter. What is one of the weirdest proposals or propositions you've ever gotten from someone you have absolutely no idea?
And this is really strange, although I've never heard the word catfishing till I learned of this. Because I was like, these are actually quite interesting people. They're like,
what does that mean, catfishing?
Oh, that people acting as someone else to try and talk to you and stuff like that. So I'm really learning a lot in this new digital world, which is quite interesting. What are some of the weirdest ones? I don't know.
And were you ever tempted? Did you go at this point? Oh, like, wow, yeah, sure, I'll say yes.
I said yes to Timo.
Quote her on
no.
that. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Yes.
Sorry?
Life lessons you learned overseas.
Overseas. Wow, too many. Wait for my book. um, so many really. Where does one start? Wow, that's a loaded one. 5 lessons. That your inner circle of friends and that circle of people that you really trust is so important. When I was, especially when I was living in Shanghai and stuff, it was tough, you know. It was a tough city. It was doing your own business there, like having to deal with a lot of new things, having to deal with all these laws and everything, and banking and everything. It was just very new, and not knowing who to trust. I think it's quite scary in a big city, in a new city. Yeah, so I think having bravery, having people back home whom you can trust and can get good advice from, and having that team. That's why I'm so happy actually in this project, because there are challenges. Whatever that you do, there are always challenges. But I think with a new mind, new eyes, and a team that believes in each other, that works out for the common good and for the greater good, for the good of the project, taking away ego, taking away all these things, I think that's what I love, and that's what I strive for, and that's why I'm so happy on this project, you know, because I have dealt with people whom, you know, wow, really? In being in Singapore, you think you're so protected, and you'd be like, wow, like evil people exist, you know, and you fall very badly, you get scraped all over, you're bleeding profusely, but you get up, you learn, you smile, and you're a stronger person. I'm not one who ever regrets anything that I do, because I think that it really built you to be who you are tomorrow, and here I am today. Yeah, sort of. It's still a ongoing process, so look out for my book.
We are going to ask her about her book later on.
No
anyway.
words, just pictures.
Any other? Okay.
Well, along the lines of living overseas, if I grow up and I want to be you,
Why? Be you. You're great.
fun such a lifestyle. I mean, like all the stuff I've seen like on your social media,
Yeah.
really cool arty stuff, all the things that you go to.
That's why I've always had other side projects on the side. I mean, everybody knows I was producing for a photographer, and I managed to be very, very, very blessed. I've been so blessed, you know, by the grace that I have been so blessed to be able to work with very cool people, people who are very supportive of what I did. And most recently, I've been very blessed to be working with a private client who allowed me opportunities to work with Kengo Kuma, whom I love as an architect. I love architects as well. So, you know, on art curation projects. So I have done a lot of projects that I haven't really talked about openly, but I think those who sort of know that I have been doing a lot of art projects on the side, and yeah lah, I have to work lah, how? I've been working, I have, just not in the know, yeah.
So it's been 7 years. You've traveled so many places. You've had so many experiences. How do you think all these experiences that you've had will affect you now as an actress?
I don't know if it's a you know, age thing where you're coming of age and all that, or all these experiences. I think it also boils down to focus and focus, you know. And back then, obviously, things moved so quickly that I, as a child, maybe didn't grasp it completely, or like, you know, I was too I don't know. Yeah, I think, strangely, back to the show where before I signed on, I haven't read the script, like I said. So I was like, oh, you know, I cannot cry on cue. I cannot cry on cue, okay? Please, like, really cannot cry on cue. And then I opened the script. Page 1, cry. Page 2, cry. Like, oh no! I was like, God, please help me today. I had to get through this. And strangely enough, like, you know, like you said, it just flowed. Strangely, it really did. And I was just talking to my director yesterday, Gavin, you know, who has placed so much trust, who has placed so much, been so patient with me, because he was like, you're going to turn up for the show, right? I said, yes, I hope so. He's like, you know, he's like so nervous about it, but we were just having this conversation that, yeah, you know, I can see, in fact, he was the one that told me, I can see that maturity in your acting, I can see the things that you've been through through different eyes, you know, your eyes speak different volumes when, like, you know, and I was so afraid back then as well, but it's like, hey, it's just like riding a bicycle, come on, you know, they just feel, and working with people, you know, who've been through theater school, you know, all my other, like, Chuan or whoever, they all been to theater school, they all done theater. I'm like, I haven't actually been to acting school. I went to the school of life, you know. Exactly. So I guess it does, to a certain extent, it does make a difference. But ultimately, I think putting your heart and soul to anything will work. Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned that you watched the clip that your director showed you about a little boy who had some issues. What kind of issues did he have? Was it mental illness, and what did it speak to you?
I mean, it wasn't particularly that story, but you know, it was a series of stories. But that particular clip I watched was of this young Malay boy who was, I don't know if I should be saying this here, but he was gay and all that. So he had a lot of problems, and he was outcast because he was, you know, dressed differently. So people were looking at him for so many different reasons, and at the same, but then he could only turn to music as a refuge. And then he got cancer. Then he cannot hear. Then he cannot, you know, he can't listen to music. I was like, oh my God, this is so sad. So I really felt quite strongly, not just for this particular boy. I mean, obviously for this boy, but also for all the other stories, also in the synopsis and the script. And also for, I mean, it struck a chord with me also because of, you know, things that happened with my family and all that. So I was like, wow, like, so many people are hurting, and yeah, we should start giving people love instead of, you know. Yeah, those are true stories. Yeah.
And they'll be in your book as well.
With the pen, blood, right with blood.
I believe you had a question, yes?
第八波道，很久没有讲华语 ，really 很久没有讲华语。Well, I never expected ever to be sitting here again. So never say never, but obviously will depend on the script whether they want me, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Some things have changed, but some things never change in that I always still follow my heart. So if something does touch me, of course, I will never rule anything out like that. Yeah. 当然会想念第八波道，很想念，因为有一点不一样。怎么说？因为这么久嘛，就是第一部戏就是小精灵，走到哪里到现在，我已经30多岁了，人家还是嘿小精灵，我说现在老精灵了。So it's a bit different, but then at the same time, doing this English one on Channel 5, it's so refreshing for me. And this was another layer, another thing that I think gave me more of a comfort because, you know, I was always doing Channel 8 stuff. Everybody knows my Chinese is, yeah, like you watch to laugh at me one. But that's also my 特点. But it was so much more comfortable to emote in my language that I am so comfortable with, because I've never done any English dramas like all the other English stuff. I mean, I did War Diary, but that was like way like many years ago. And after that was all Maggie and Me or Caliphate, which all were comedies. So it was really nice to emote in English because everything just felt very natural in that sense. Yeah. I know, and my friend just sent me that song again by Jack and Rye. That was like, Fiona, why are you running in the blue bra? I was like, and then they sent me the photo. I was like, really bad? What color bikini are you going to wear this time? No bikinis, leave it to the young ones. There's so many young stars, so it's okay. You know, there are loads of new people to wear, and I've lived my life. I had my time, and I'm very happy with that. That was a beautiful moment. There is zero bikini scenes in
You hear that? Do you hear that? That is
Left
the sound
Behind.
of all the hearts breaking right now.
Please don't watch Left Behind. Don't get left behind. The other things, because shirts get unbuttoned. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No. Just joking. Yes and no. I mean, no, because it's comforting to know that at some point you made a mark, you know, on the history of television. You know, sometimes I never thought about this, you know. Yeah, back then you'd be like, you cringe, and you'd be like, this is really me, oh my gosh, you know. So embarrassing and all that stuff. But then looking back on, you know, especially with like live shows that I had, even when I've left, you're like, you know, they bring on the characters and you'll be like, in some of the live shows and all that, even when I'm not around, I'm like, wow, you know, that's how strong good writing, that's how strong good characters, that's how strong a good team makes. When you're able to make a show that everybody remembers, I think that is something to be proud of. And I never could say this, but now I can say that I own it, you know, yes. Like I'm actually, if anyone doesn't know, if you check my Instagram, I'm always posting at very weird times at 3, 4 a.m. I've got crazy insomnia, but I don't know. Lack of sleep makes me skinny and young. I don't know. Maybe because I'm always very childlike. You know, I love to live life. I laugh a lot. I play a lot of pranks on my colleagues still. It's a matter of staying young. You feel young when I don't know, I never really thought about it, to be honest. People do think like, oh, but I think I've changed. I think I have.
Speaking of change, though, I mean, you were gone for 7 years. Now that you're back, what's changed? I mean, have you noticed Singapore changing a lot? And I suppose more specifically the media in Singapore. Have you noticed any changes?
No, because I've been avoiding them like the plague. I'm sorry.
Oh, boss is right there.
I'm just kidding. No. I have been, and that's why I'm here once and for all to face it. And that's exactly one of the lines that I keep rehashing in my show Left Behind on Channel 5, that I kept saying that, no, whatever issues that you have, it's a reoccurring thing that, you know, whatever it is, you just have to bite the bullet and do it. And here I am. And yeah, there's so many changes, and I think it's good change, you know? Like, here I am for the first time having my first interview with the press after so long in a new campus. And I think that's something. It's like something old, something new. You know, we're like, it's new on the inside, but the spirit lives on. There's still soul, man, Tim. Yeah. It's soul, you know. It's like this is a new building, but soul of Mediacorp that has been on forever.
Yeah,
you know.
Because I mean, when you left us, was MBS even around yet?
Lisa, I know I left for so long. Okay, I have been, you know, back here and all that as well. I think it's more of the whole entire climate change, not so much of, I think, you know, with the whole media thing, it's difficult. I think it's very challenging to be in media now compared to back then. Back then, you know, it was not that it was any easier, it was very different, I would say, yeah. He tried to ask. I can say for the very first time, I've always been a serial monogamist, and yeah, for the very first time, I'm actually single for quite a long period of time, but not looking. And I think that is, sorry? 因为 I think it took me a long time to grow into the woman that I am right now, to grow to, I think it sounds very contrived if you sort of take it in the wrong context or whatever, but learning to love yourself, because you can never be someone else until you're a complete whole. And I am enjoying all the time I have, like loving the things that I love, doing the things that I want to do, and growing as an individual now that I think I have standards, so I'm not going to settle. Yeah.
I love how she started with 因为 and then carried on in
因为
English.
所以如此 No, I don't mean it in a like, wow, I have standards I settle, that's why I'm so cocky and I don't want to, just have anyone. But I think everyone should enjoy me time. Yeah. Actually, almost a year, shy of a year, and I fell in love with so many of my friends all over again. In fact, when I was in Tokyo, it's very different when you rediscover. Me and my friend Melody, which is one of my best friends, we're both serial monogamists, both completely full of love, and we started to grow with each other, to spur each other to into this new breakthrough, so to speak. It's something that's easy to say, but it's different when you put it into action, I think. Yeah.
I think we'll hold off a little bit on the questions on her love life. Do we have any other questions at all? Yes.
Yes, my prayers are answered. My mom has always been. I'm very blessed to have my mom who's always supportive of whatever I did. Her main thing to me was, as long as you're happy, whatever. So it's more of like, yes, she gets to make soup for me now every day, and she's happy I'm back home no matter what. But obviously, as a parent, she's obviously also wants to protect me. Like, are you sure you want to do this? It's okay if you just want to stay low key and enjoy that being anonymous and all that. It's fine, and I've been so happy being that. And but at the same time, you can never really run away from it. No matter where I try to hide, people like, hey, that one, is it? It's like, yes. Hello. Thank you for, yes, I am, okay. Because, Singaporeans are very different. They won't, come up to you and like, hey, how are you? They'll be like that. So it's quite like, what did I do, Yeah, I think she's happy. This is part of a bigger drama. We're in the Truman Show. This is all part of Mediacorp drama. It was all orchestrated. I'm just joking. No, I think it's different. Like I said, we all have different strengths. Even back then when everybody was pitting us against each other in the Seven Princesses, we were very different. We catered to different shows. We had different fans, We were so different, and yeah, I celebrate the younger ones. I can never be 19 again. Please act those 19 roles because I cannot act 19. But I don't see them as competition. I see them as wow, 我走过这个路，我了解你的心情 like that. Like 终于可以说大姐跟你说没关系，可以不用紧张，可以。And to reach out the olive branch to people who have helped me so much when I was back then, when I was a newbie, when I was, wow, what's going on, what's this, and to give me that same encouragement that I received back then. And now it's, wow, I get to do that,
So who were some of these people who helped you out, who were there for you?
So many, even like Sharon. I was working a lot with Sharon now. Jaslyn Tay, people like David Gunn, were there for me all the time. Like people like even Huang Biren, like all these people, they were so kind to me when I was just, even Li Nanxing, like, cannot cry, I'm cute, how, like, try. Like, so it's really like nice, to have these people lead you and guide you to grow for your craft. And now that, not that I'm any good or not that, some of them might be better than me, but just to share your experiences of what you go through, like, with the stresses or whatever, or like, with everything, because you're bound to have all these external stresses as well.
Yeah.
Holiday! I'm actually going back to Japan for a bit, and then I have got my art curation project that I have to finish with my Kengo Kuma projects that I have to do. And then who knows? I don't know. My director's like, hey, very busy, Oh, my phone ringing, asking for you. Should I give them the number? I was like, I don't know. Don't ask me. I just want to finish your show first and not think so much because like I said, I really didn't plan to do this show at all. So, and we really started like a week on. He's like, okay, Kenneth called me. I started 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, and then, everything just snowballed from there. So, yeah, catch me while I'm still in my days.
Do we have any other questions?
I started filming May, and I've been filming for about a month. And I'm quite sad because we're ending filming almost this week or next. And yeah, it's this is the thing that made me stay on, I think, for so many years. When I first came on at 19, I never wanted to come on as well. I never wanted to act. I didn't know anything about it. And one show led to another, and time passes so quickly because every day from morning to night, you're packed in with these people, these 20 people or whatever, rushing the next scene and the next scene. And you're so focused that you don't really know what's going on in the outside world. You don't know what's happening, and you go to love each other as a family. And now that it's ending, it's going to be really sad. It's like, oh no, what do I do next? Like, you wake up like, I'll be like, where's my call sheet? Yeah.
Is there a type of role that you haven't had a chance to play yet that maybe in the back of your mind you'd be really interested in exploring?
Not anything in particular, but like I said, it's always the entire team. It's like, part of the reason why I took up this show was also because I didn't know much about fighting spiders, but because he was like, oh, Gavin, this director's doing it, and I'm very, very much into visuals. I'm quite a aesthetically driven person, as you can tell from my Instagram. I like very quirky things, and I did like the shots that I saw from fighting spiders, and I was like, hey, that Channel 5 project was very artsy. It was quite like a film, and I was like, that very beautiful, And I was like, I was very curious to say, oh, this person's going to be on board, and I was like, yes, I want to be on board with people who have the same vision. I think having trust, having vision to actually carve something out. We came on board with every production. You always come on board with a very bare minimum of a skeleton, and every one of us put in our heart and soul to flesh out everything. So I think that that's teamwork. So being with the right team, I think, overrides anything else. Whether this role is super good, but if you have a horrible person that you can't work with, there's no point. Because you can't shine alone, especially in this industry. You cannot shine alone. I cannot shine without any of you writing of any of this or coming or turning up as well. So thank you even for coming. And that's what entertainment is, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure there are differences, though. I mean, most of your career you've spent in TV. We did talk about this earlier on, your role in the movies, in that horror movie. Is there a preference between?
Obviously, you want to do the artsy, cool thing, but that doesn't happen every day. Back then, I was always like, sitcoms are so slapstick, I don't really like them so much. But at the same time, it's also a matter of thinking about it like, hey, if I'm an entertainer, if I'm an actress, even if I'm doing this show, if I can make that one person happy, I've done my job. And so for me, I think that has to come to mind. Why are you doing this in the first place? If I just want to do this for being pretty, I can just be just hide behind pretty photos and not be on TV. Because you're on TV, you're exposed in every way possible. Your soul, your physicality, your everything. And that's why I guess I got drained out at that point. But at the same time, that's why I love and struggle with it at the same time. But that's why I'm so addicted to it as well.
Film or TV, though?
Both.
Both?
For different roles. Because for sitcom, you have to think really quickly. So it's always a bit. It's always like, for example, with Maggie and Me. Adrian Pang is such an amazing actor. He's got such good timing, such good wit, and you work with people like that, it's like, whoa, 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 like what's next, you know? And then when you say a line that's not scripted or you just improv, it's fun, you know? It's fun to improv, and that is a kind of rush that you get, completely different from, let's say, a very serious drama like Left Behind. You know, you get slow down the moments, and everyone knows I talk very quickly, so it's like slowing down the moments and finding the moment to let yourself emote. It's completely different, but that's what the beauty is, and that's what the beauty of the challenge of being an actress is, you know. Yeah.
I think we've got time for just a couple more questions from the floor.
Just like from your life experiences, how would you advise someone who perhaps wanted to be like you in a way of like live for the moment and just go off, like if they wanted to go live overseas or decided to, I don't know, quit a 9-to-5 job and become like a travel blogger, or just like in your life experiences, what kind of advice?
I do think that this has been the trend of late, that everyone, especially our new generation, you know, I'm sorry if I pioneered it, but that everyone just wants to, you know, post pretty pictures on Instagram and live life and not have a 9-to-5 job. I completely, you know, support it if you have something to fall back on. But, you know, you have to think for your family, think for responsibilities, you have to think of like, hey, opportunities that, are you really giving up something that, for fun, that how long will it last? You know, like choices that you make when you're younger and choices that you make when you do need doors to be open might not be open for you anymore. So do consider that, and don't just, oh, it's a trend now, I just want to be cool and, you know, live that nomadic lifestyle. Please do think about how you want to monetize it, how you want to have something to fall back on before you just jump into the winds and, you know, dive in headlong into wilderness. Yes.
Okay. All right, well, I think that just wraps up. Before we go into the photo call, you've been staying in Japan for quite a while, right? Come on, plug Left Behind in Japanese.
What? No. Are you going to air this in Japan? Yay!
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you very much to Fiona.
Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And of course, we're going to invite her